Collectors of Everything, Experts of None podcast, and the two idiots who host it take zero responsibility for the completely unfactual information that is sometimes expressed on said podcast. It also contains explicit language. Sorry, Mum. Collectors of Everything, Experts of None. All right, Collectors of Everything, Experts of None, episode 64.
64.
Peter.
5 off.
5 off. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, sir. How are you?
That's good. I'm fantastic. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably 11.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm probably a 3.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's good. Good to bring the show down, right down to your level. That's good to see.
Well, I mean, that's the only reason why I do this is so that just to depress the people that listen. So
bring all the negativity to the show.
Yeah. You thought you were having a good week? Wait till Thursday night.
Exactly. 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Peter's going to bring the noise.
Bring something.
Hey guys, if you're liking Collectors of Everything, Experts of None, shout out to the people that are commenting and liking and subscribing, and make sure you're doing it as well.
Loving it.
YouTube is the best place to watch us. Also Spotify. We do shorts on I forgot now, TikTok,
Instagram,
and
TikTok.
Instagram.
Yeah.
And we don't really like Facebook, but anyway.
Yeah.
If we didn't have to put it on Facebook, we wouldn't. But there is some people that we know that likes to watch it on Facebook, so we continue to do that to please you.
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah.
One of the likes that we get on there, his name's Peter.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, is that you?
Yeah, it's me.
Oh, that's nice. Right. Don't tell everyone our secrets. We're liking our own stuff.
Yeah, but I'm doing it ironically.
All right. Ironically. That's your excuse. Shout out to Stan. Guys, we've got a big show for you actually tonight.
Yeah.
I haven't actually emphasized it as much as I probably should. We have interviewed the winner of the first ever Oceania Challenge 2025. This dude won the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to the Worlds when it's announced. And we got to interview him. It was last night, actually, that we interviewed him because of the time zone differences. He's on the other side of the world. But yeah, I tell you what, if you ever want to get an insight into the brain of Lacana and someone that's really good and an expert in most of it, then this is the sort of interview you want to watch. We're going to be playing it after we have a chat about the news, and then we'll come back and have a quick chat about it afterwards. Obviously, if you're into Lacana, you would know there was a bit of controversy around what's gone on during the event, the challenge, should I say.
Yep.
However, didn't really breach that in the conversation, just out of respect for him, because he did win it and he had nothing to do with it. But he does mention a few things in regards to how the community reacted, which I think was fantastic. So you be the judge. You let me know what you think. Peter.
Yeah.
Our favorite company, Fanatics.
Oh, I love Fanatics for some reason.
Yes.
Mm.
Followed by PSA to show a close second.
Yeah.
We got a big show tonight. Peter's rant's going to be epic.
I might actually get angry tonight.
I reckon. Hey, Fanatics Collectibles, the guys who are trying to take over the world, have decided to put together a flagship store in Regent Street.
Yeah,
in London.
In London.
In London.
I mean, talk about not really knowing your demographic.
I got to admit, we've been to collector stores all over the world.
Yeah.
And they are not in good suburbs normally. But this is a seriously good suburb that no one's going to go and look at.
Well, I mean, it's not even that. I mean, why would an American company that's based around American sports cards set up a flagship in the middle of London? Look, I understand about, trying to expand the business and stuff like that. But, football cards are massive over in Europe. They've already got that.
Yes.
They're right into their NBA and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
They've got Formula One cards. They've got all these different things. But Fanatics, for me, when I think of Fanatics, I'm thinking of baseball. I'm thinking of NBA, NFL, these.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about UEFA football cards.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
So it kind of stumped me when I saw it. I was like,
there's a guy who's commented on some of our shows who actually does a podcast in Australia, and I should have probably had a look at it beforehand to give him a shout out, but he does soccer cards. I think that's all he does is a podcast, and we should try and get him on.
Yeah.
Because I've got no idea about soccer cards, and he, other than the gold Ronaldos we talked about, which were pretty insane.
Well, obviously it's the same as sort of any sport. If you're going to get into something, you're going for the the big names. You're going for the
Yeah.
Messis and stuff like that. And
Yes.
what's the other guy?
Bellingham?
No, he's just a young guy. Blonde
Oh,
hair.
yeah. Actually, he designed some boots with Messi. I forgot his name now.
Yeah. Is it
Yeah.
Haaland or something like that? Haaland?
Oh, Haaland. Yeah, he's not a young guy.
Oh, okay.
There's another guy as well, but yeah, Erling Haaland. Yeah, he plays for Man City.
Oh,
Yeah, top player.
Okay.
Anyway, this shop. One thing that got me, like, I'm all for the growth of trading cards and whatever else.
Yeah.
There just seems to be some sort of, there's no, what's the word, separation now between the company that makes the cards. There's going to be this big thing in the middle of the shop, and it's about, how big is it? It's a big shop. It's 803 meters squared. Square meters.
It's a flagship.
Yeah.
When you hear
They
that
had
word
square feet on
flagship,
there. I had to change it and look it up because I'm like, feet. I have no idea what that means or how big that is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they got a centerpiece in there, which are some of the rarest cards in sports and entertainment.
Okay.
But
Nice.
what I don't understand is how they have those cards still, and why aren't they in the hands of people that are buying the cards? Secondly, they're going to do box breaks there. Are these going to be like the most epic box breaks ever? I just don't, and maybe I'm reading into it too much and I have a tarnished view on fanatics. But they're saying that's to build the community, which is fantastic. But I just don't understand why you would put cards in there. And maybe they're on loan from people. I don't know. But with all the robberies going on, you better be careful, guys, because they're coming for you.
What you said there is that they want to expand the community.
Yeah.
In today's economic climate, how many people can afford to shop on Regent Street?
Oh, no, I think it's more so just a flagship store as in a promotion store. I'm guessing that's probably what it is. I mean, you're not going to walk in and buy a one of one from the flagship store, I wouldn't think.
Well, people do.
Whether they're for sale, I don't know. But I thought it was interesting. Yes, at box breaks, there's going to be single cards all the way through to high-end hobby boxes. So there is stuff for sale.
Yeah, okay.
But we'll keep an eye on it. It's coming out this year, or it's opening this year at some point. We didn't actually say the date that it was coming out. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the rare cards they have in there.
Yeah, for sure. God
damn it, there was the one of one the whole world's been looking for the last 12
damn
months.
Paul Skeens rookie auto patch.
I keep reading stuff about that, hey. So it came off StockX. They bought that box off StockX, right? Did you hear about that?
Yep.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. But anyway.
Dude, they last night, last night, I guess it would be now, because Super Bowl just finished. So obviously we're shooting this on a Monday. Well done to the team that won, whatever. But it wasn't the Packers, so I don't care. But
Eagles, the Eagles won.
Oh, it was the Eagles, Philadelphia
Eagles. They beat
Eagles,
Kansas City. Yeah.
Yeah.
They flogged them, actually.
It was a bit of a drumming. That's what I saw. So, but I actually saw a post from the pre-Super Bowl party last night of Paul Skeens standing at the party holding his rookie auto patch.
Yeah, is this dude like a secret?
It was on loan.
Yeah, from the kid.
What? I don't know, man, but if I've got that card, that's not going to a goddamn Super Bowl party for people to go, oh, look, I've got the card.
Well, why is this guy so invested in his own card? That's what I want to know. I don't understand why he's so invested. You don't see all these other famous people walking around with their own card.
I mean, there's heaps of people that collect their own cards. There's there's a video that's just came out. I think it's an older video, but it's just doing the rounds again. Yeah. Of Mike Trout and his son opening a box of Bowman First from, I think it was 2012. Might have been his rookie
card. Is that right?
He pulls his own rookie auto out of it.
He loses it, eh?
Yeah, but that's it. I mean, it shows you, like, Michelle was like, oh, can't he just sign any card himself? And I'm like, but it's not that. It's like, this is the surprise of a kid who didn't know what his career was going to do. Yeah. Probably signing his first baseball cards. Yeah. Would never have thought in the future that, having such an illustrious career, that he would have been pulling it with his son sitting there. I think it's a great story.
Ripped it out of the hands of someone that deserves it more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're Mike Trout and you get a Mike Trout card, do you sign it and then just keep it in your own collection? It's now worth.
I put it on eBay.
Infinitely more money.
Yeah, and my name would be Mike Fish on eBay, so no one would know.
Mike Salmon.
Mike Salmon. Mike Flathead.
Oh, no. I don't know if any Americans will get that joke. I don't know if you got flatheads over there. That's a fish in Australia. So
Grouper?
Yeah. Groper.
Grouper?
Groper.
Anyway. Hey, guess what?
You can tell you're a fisherman.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm an esteemed fisherman. I've never caught a fish in my life.
I don't want to put the bait on. It smells.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Do you have gloves?
Gloves.
Hey, it's time for Peter's rant.
Right. So,
Right.
PSA have just come out saying that they're changing the centering grade for their PSA 10s from a 60-40
Golf clap.
to a 55-45. Now,
Correct.
this causes many problems.
Yeah.
I don't like grading for the fact that unless you get a 10, the card's useless.
Correct.
I mean, there is not a worse way to get into something and have, like, pull this massive card. You've just pulled, like, you know, the Dark Moon Umbrella on. You send it in and you get a 9. I will sell that 9, that PSA 9, for the same price as a raw card. Sometimes less.
Yeah. Sometimes less.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is absolutely stupid. And now we're going to turn around and make the grading even harder.
Yeah.
Like, you may as well just be throwing your money away. I said to you before we actually started, when we were talking about, you know, what we're actually going to talk about 3 minutes before we start recording.
Yeah.
That if you send cards in and it's not a 10,
yeah,
they should just send them back to you raw.
Whoa.
What's the point?
Well, because you might want to preserve it. You don't really care what you get, depending on the age of the card, everything like that.
If you're sending your cards to PSA, you're doing it for a monetary profit.
Yeah. How much harder do you think it's going to be for PSA 10 now? And so does that push the value of PSA 10s up even more? I think it does.
Well, does it push the value up of recent, like, cards that have been graded 10 from now? And does it decrease the value of all 10s before?
The only way you'd know that is if it's a new release of cards. So, I mean, I don't know if you could tell from the numbers of PSA. You could tell from the upgrades of the different PSA tabs.
Yeah. Okay. So, what about people who have cards that are now that have been sent to PSA and are waiting grading? Do they grade under the new stuff? Do they grade under the old stuff?
I don't know.
Like, I mean,
but anyway, the point is that now the 9s are now a 60-40.
Don't interrupt me. I'm getting angry. I'm seriously annoyed by this.
The one thing that got me, though, was did you see that they were talking about the person that's doing the grading?
The goddamn clause at the bottom that says, depending on who's grading the card, they could choose to give it a 10. Why the fuck are we doing this?
So just threw that out, the whole thing out the window.
It doesn't matter. It's like, hey, we're changing everything. But, I mean,
we need to know. We need to find some friends that are graders. That's what we need to do.
Well, that was the thing. I went through the comments of the post, like just one of the billions of posts that talks about it.
Yeah.
And he goes, the only way to get 10s is if you know someone at PSA.
Yeah. Yep. That's true.
And so, like, because you remember how pissed off I was about the One Ring that got graded as a 9.
Yes.
It's a 1-on-1. It's just ridiculous.
Oh, you're annoyed tonight, aren't you?
Oh, it's going to get me upset again. God damn it. But, you know, if you look at something like what we just spoke about, the Paul Skeens rookie autograph, the patch autograph, like, does Topps turn around to PSA and go, dude, you got to give it a 10? This is like a flagship piece.
Yeah.
So
maybe not. I mean, if Magic didn't have the push to make sure it was a 1 of 110, then do you think they would?
Yeah.
Magic's pretty big.
I mean,
Magic would grade a lot of cards out of PSA. Maybe not Pokemon size, but
the thing is, like, so obviously the prices have gone up with PSA depending on how much the estimated price for that card is. That's how you pay.
Yeah.
It's a raw. Unless you're guaranteeing, like, if you get a card,
the opinions of individuals on Collectors of Everything, Experts of None don't necessarily reflect said podcast.
Wait, you're meant to be on my team. My team.
I love it.
Don't stick up for PSA.
I'm not sticking up for Psa at all, but I do think
I got a
it's
goddamn
funny.
fucking membership at PSA.
It's just one of those things. I think it's strange, and they're changing the rules halfway through the game. It's just odd. And you wonder when they're going to bring computer grading in and get rid of people grading these cards.
The amount of people that turned around and said, "Look, until we've got AI grading or robotic grading,
well, we do,
which is happening, but it's not in sports cards.
Yeah, not yet.
So you're losing half the majority of the market, I would say.
So they don't do AI grading in sports cards.
No, I'm pretty sure it's just Pokemon at the moment.
I know they do Pokemon.
Well, because I think everything has to be put into a database to start off with. And you think about the bajillion of sports cards that have been like produced.
Of course,
in one sport, let alone every sport across the board that has cards.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I do understand it, but I mean, I just think it was a real dick thing to turn around and go, oh, but depending on the person, you know, you still could get a 10 if the grade is appeasing to the eye.
Yeah, no, there's a Victor Wembanyama here.
Oh, there you go, man.
It might be a timeline thing.
Yeah, it might have changed.
Yeah, but there is a company out there that do it. You see them all the time. There's not a lot of their slabs coming up with hugely popular cards. Although there's a Wembanyama there.
But
trying to see what card it is.
We've spoken about how much PSA have the corner of the market. Where if I've got a PSA and another, you know, a BSG or an ACG or something else along those lines, and the price comparison is similar, I'm always going to buy the PSA.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it's you're buying a known brand. Am I happy about that? Do I like supporting them? No, because it just seems that they're making it harder and harder to get a 10.
Yeah.
Like, it just pisses me off.
Especially
for the fact that a 9 is literally penance.
Well, it's actually a 10 now, technically.
Well, I mean, we can...
Not to set you up, but anyway. I love it.
We can get into that argument if you want.
That's the best rant you've had so far. It's about goddamn time that you had a good rant. All right.
Dude,
everyone loves your rants.
Send me something about PSA and it'll piss me off enough.
We're going to call it Peter's PSA rant from now on. Anyway, there you go. So we're talking about the robberies that were happening over in America. In regards to some of I think it was in Canada, wasn't it, actually? And it was hockey.
Might have been Canadian.
Yeah, we talk about a lot of stuff. Anyway, go back and judge us. That's fine. It was only probably 4 or 5 episodes ago anyway.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, just the weekend's just gone here in Australia. In Melbourne, 3 shops in 3 days have been pinged.
Yeah.
All TCG, I think predominantly TCG type stores in Melbourne, which is crazy. So they've been targeted, obviously. Dudes have rolled in with like... I find them quite small, the yellow garbage bins that they did bring in, because they're a bit bigger where I live.
Goddamn wheelie bin.
But anyway, he brings in a wheelie bin, and there's video of this. You can look it up online. Just type in Pokemon robberies Melbourne or something like that. And there's news footage of these guys off the CCTV. And they are not being friendly with these things. Like, they are just throwing them in to this garbage bin. You think if they were real collectors, they'd take a little bit more care.
To me, it shows that this is what the market's done with Pokemon and creating that hype of you can almost make a living off trading cards and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because these guys don't look like collectors. For one, they're trying to kick in like the shelves that have like the graded pieces on there and stuff like that. Why?
Well,
every
I don't
one
know.
of those cards is traceable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that's true. Yeah, they did say that actually.
If they were collectors, they'd be going for nothing but boxes.
Yeah,
Because that's the only
they're
thing that's going to be untraceable.
Well, they probably did. There was tens of thousands of dollars worth of stuff stolen. And one of
It's
the guys
disgusting.
who was from one of the three shops, I don't know which one it was, came out and said, yeah, they probably got the biggest cards they got were about $600. But
Yeah.
they're the ones you're never going to be able to move without someone noticing.
No, yeah, 100%.
So yeah, so he did say the guy they're banding together to make sure that any of these cards that get sold in, I doubt they'd be sold in Melbourne anyway. They're probably going to get sold somewhere else overseas. But
dude, they would have been thrown straight on eBay.
Just strange that, and I've never heard on, and it made national news too. I think.
Yeah,
I've never heard of a collector shop being robbed in Australia.
Australia, yeah,
it's a first time for everything. Fanatics, be careful in Regent Street.
Yeah, well, we are the criminal descendants of the English. Remember that.
This is true.
Yeah. Oh, look, I feel sorry that that collectors or people that create these shops for collectors to be able to have access to these types of things without having to go online and do that are getting gypped like this. And I mean, I don't know about how good their insurance is, whether, they're actually going to get their bang for the buck for what they've actually had.
Yeah.
And, and if it's the prismatic evolutions, the Pokemon card set that's just going mental at the moment, then they're going to be out of stock. Like, they're not going to be able to get any more in because you can't find it anymore.
Yeah.
So,
they're crazy popular when they drop.
Oh, yeah. I saw a video of someone today taking every pack out of a vending machine. It was like $900 out of a goddamn vending machine. I'm like, yeah, you people are crazy, man. Like,
I love it, eh?
Like, there's money to be made in cards, but there's also a lot of people that do their asses in cards as well.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So
yeah,
it's not the get rich quick scheme that they think it is.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah,
it's the get rich over a long period of time scheme.
Yeah,
and then it's not.
These are the children of Amway people. So
you're right.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. It's time. No more shenanigans, Peter. It's time for the interview with I always say it wrong. The Disney Locana Challenge. I always get it mixed up. Anyway, Dihn Khang Pham won the Melbourne event, and he talks about a few other events he's been in. It's a fantastic interview, and we'll have a chat about it afterwards. I hope you enjoy. All right. We have here on Collectors of Everything, Experts of None, the champion of the Locana Challenge Melbourne, Mr. Dihn Khang Pham. How are you, sir?
Hey, what's up? I'm good. Feeling great about the win and so on.
Yeah, absolutely. A bit of a trip for you from home to get to the Melbourne tournament, I believe.
Yeah.
How was the
24 hours.
It's always a long way to get to.
The trip was still hard, but I pulled the trigger and get myself business class. So.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah. So I won't arrive like too sore,
You've certainly made the right choice because you have won it. So congratulations on that. And we'll get into a little bit shortly, just in regards to how you went in Melbourne and some of the challenges and was it hard fought and so on and so forth. But let's kick off really quickly. I just want to talk about where you've come from because people obviously want to know backgrounds of guys that we interview. So give me a bit of a background about yourself and then how you've gotten to this point, winning the first Locana Challenge, isn't it? Other than the two, other than the US and the European ones, it's the first one in Oceania. So give me a bit of background about Khang.
Yeah. So my name is Dihn Khang Pham. I'm from Germany, and my TCG journey, funny enough, started in Magic because I went to locals, like the local store, and I never went there. And as a kid, I always was like, oh, so people are playing also Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, and whatnot as competitive game, and they go to the store, and I was always intimidated, so I never went there. And as like an adult, like I was 18, 19 or so, I finally went there, watched people playing, and I saw Magic first, and then I just tried out Magic. But the problem was I couldn't. The local was still quite far away. It was like 50-minute car drive, and at that time I still had so much money to just go every weekend.
Yeah.
And some part time I just stopped playing
Mm-hmm.
altogether after like not even half a year, but like a few months. But then I learned how to use like card market. That's our like TCG player where you just buy cards, like
Okay,
how
yeah.
card value works and so on. So I wasn't like completely new. And then I started Yu-Gi-Oh at some point because my friend wanted to go Magic draft. And I just went there and watched them play Yu-Gi-Oh!
Mm.
And I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my journey started there, my TCG journey basically, because then I was hooked by like the competitiveness. I
Mhm.
played locals, I played the bigger events are regionals.
Yeah.
These are not the major events, it's just like events where you can earn your invite for the European Continentals, which is
Right.
in Yu-Gi-Oh! Completely different than in Lorcana.
Yeah.
It's quite easy to get it. In Lorcana, like there are like 5,000 to 6,000 invites
Yeah.
earned each time, and in Lorcana there's like how many were we? Like 100,
Oh, right.
116 or so.
Not
Yeah,
many.
yeah, not many.
Yeah.
128. I think no, 96. Yeah, you were 96. Yeah, the entire process of playing Yu-Gi-Oh was really fun. I
Mhm.
really loved the game. I played it like non-stop basically in my head. When I have free time, I tested my decks.
Mhm.
I built decks, and yeah, after a while, I realized that the game, while it's still fun for me, at some degree, writing wise, and also the time you put in wasn't worth it anymore. Like I put a lot of time into it. I didn't make I coach a lot, right? So
Yeah.
it's not like that I don't make money off Yu-Gi-Oh! It's still like um you need to play so much like to keep up with the top. And then even if you play that much, it's not like guaranteed that you will perform because of there's
Okay.
so much RNG. And I was like just a bit frustrated because I played the French nationals.
Mhm.
I mean, I didn't even need to perform that. There's a playoff system in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you earn points when you go top events, and
Mhm.
then you can, at the end of the season, you play a tournament to go to Worlds. Basically, it's a 16-player tournament, which I
Yeah.
was already qualified for, so it didn't really matter. But I was still not happy. So I looked for games, and there was a Yu-Gi-Oh! Player, Hani Javari. He's really famous in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Mhm.
He just had a call with me and just pushed Lorcana on me, and I'm like,
Oh,
yeah, I
really?
would try it. Yeah, I would
So
just do it.
another Yu-Gi-Oh pro pushed Lacana onto you.
Yeah, exactly. And he I don't know how, but he talked in a way that I was like, yeah, okay, I have to try it. Lorcana has such a big chance because new,
Yeah.
there's not a there it wasn't an established scene, but like in the pro level, like you can rise there and just like be a new rising star.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
it is really new, isn't it? I mean, Lacana is
yeah,
only what 2 years old, 3 years old, like when
yeah.
the first edition came out.
Basically, the scene was like consisted of Pixelmon pros, right? The DLCs.
Yeah.
At that time, there were only like 2 or 3 DLCs done when I started at Set 4, so it
Mhm.
wasn't like a really good start, an early start. So
Mm.
he pushed me into Lorcana, and I was like, okay, damn, I need to play it.
Yeah.
And I wanted the gold Mickey, which I have here now.
You have
I
excellent.
really wanted, like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Press cards are really
So
vanilla cards.
you got that for top 4? Is that right?
In this time, top 4, yeah. Normally it's top 8, but if it's a smaller DLC under 1024 or
Okay.
1025, um, you need to get to top 4. So
Okay.
yeah, I saw this one. He said, this is a bunch of money, but besides that, it's a
Yeah.
golden card, you
Yeah,
want
it's
it. You just
fantastic. You
want it.
can't get them.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm like, okay, I really want it. And yeah, that's when I delved deep into Lorcana
Excellent.
and started my journey.
So tell me, what's more difficult to play? Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, or Lacana?
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh?
But
Okay.
it's
Just from
not
the sheer size of
because
it, and
um what do you say?
just from the size of the Yu-Gi-Oh, I
Yeah.
suppose,
So
the
the
cards
problem
in
about
Yu-Gi-Oh.
yeah, exactly. It's like the problem is it is complicated, yes,
Mm-hmm.
but you need to know so much. It is like redundant. Like you need to know so much outside of just playing, because there are some rulings and some stuff like that. It's written nowhere. It's literally written nowhere. Like some of the current
Really?
pros don't even know all the rulings. Yeah, they still
Yeah.
don't know all the rulings because
Wow.
you need to hear about it. It's like a hearsay thing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you have to look it up in random forums, like 2009 or whatever. It's really weird.
Yeah.
It's not beginner friendly at all. Like right now,
Yeah.
you're using a state where you have to say it's more like a elite bubble than
Mm-hmm.
something else, like elite niche.
Yeah.
And that's why I really like Locana. Like it's really easy to get in, right? It's only like I didn't even read the rule book. I just watched how I started Locana was like I just started playing on the last day of Pixelborn, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even know about singing like 5 games deep in. At some point I started singing. I'm like, oh, I sang How Far Ago the first time, like, oh, that's why
Yeah.
it's
Right.
broken. And yeah, it's easy to learn, and it's also easy to get to a certain ceiling, like a ceiling where you can say, I know the game. But then mastering the game, that takes like a lot more. It's like when pro players play against each other, it's like only like 1% the difference most of the time. Like one guy will misplay one time more often, or like they will deck build like 1% less consistent, and that's it already. That's the edge you can use.
Because the decks get shuffled, is that right at the start? So I don't know a lot about Locana. I know enough about it, but it gets shuffled at the start. So is there a bit of luck involved in winning the games as well, or is it pure strategy? And if so, did you take a strategy into Melbourne, or was it just the deck?
Yeah, basically like the difference in Locana compared to other games, for now at least, is that we don't have tutors or like searcher cards like Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic whatnot, or in Pokemon, where you search a deck and after you're searching you have to shuffle and give your opponent to shuffle your deck, right? We don't have that really much. Like we have only a handful of cards that actually shuffle your deck. But the thing is, they're not meta relevant right now. That means like most of the time, like I would dare to say 100% of the time, you after the initial shuffle, after the mulligan, you shuffle, your opponent shuffles, put down the deck. You don't shuffle your deck anymore. That means at that point your deck is randomized, but it is like determined basically. And then you play based on what you draw then, of course. So there is luck involved in draws and so on, but it now depends on what deck you are playing. Like there are multiple decks that draw a lot. My deck filters a lot, so the luck factor is less important.
Okay.
Like I can go through my entire deck throughout the game, so the luck factor is a bit less important. And so I would still say for most matches there is some certain points of luck, but you still have to do the best you can with that luck, right? That's the skill.
Yeah, it's like a lot of games. There's always a little bit of luck involved in everything. Well, show us what you got. Show us the card. Tell us about the card. And how. And so it's a top 4 for the smaller comps, and top 8 you get the golden Mickey.
I mean the Mickey. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is the correct me if I'm wrong. Value anywhere between $10,000 and $20,000. Is that right?
It dropped significantly. So it was at some point like 40K or so in the first ones, like the hype and so on. Now,
yes.
Like if you sell it to a vendor, basically they pay you the 10K, but so that means it's worth like roughly, I would say like 13K, 14K. You need to find a buyer for that.
Sure.
But so like I would say like roughly over 10K. This one I probably won't sell because I got rid of my first one already, so I'm gonna keep one.
Yeah, awesome. Give me a look at the back of it. What's on the back? Because
it's a normal card.
It's
literally a normal card. It's not even something special, but it's like a normal card. There's a number.
Don't bend it. Okay, what's the number?
It's serialized. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, it's serialized. Okay.
Yeah, it's serialized here. So
yeah. So what is it? What is it numbered to something, or is it?
It's right now it's 287 to 500.
Okay.
Of 500. Right. So 500.
That's all the letters A.
Yeah. Fun fact is this is not even the rarest prize card that we have. Like we have other prize cards. Like let's say for the Continentials, there's a Baymax one. From the movie Baymax. Yeah. That exists like 16 times right now. So 16 is so much lower than 500, right? but
Yeah, right. Wow.
but this is like the golden Mickey, so that's
Yeah.
what people want to
Excellent.
win.
So you got that. So you and 3 others got that for the top 4. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
But
then
this is my second one. So
second one. When
yeah.
did you win the last one?
This was my second top in DRC Bologna in Italy,
Okay. Yeah.
where I just ran through into top 8 and unfortunately lost in top 8. But I got my Mickey. It was so nice. The first time it was actually crazy. Like it was my first top. I got top 16 and then I lost to Ed, who is was the champion of Dallas Fort Worth and the
Mhm.
champion of North American
Right.
Continental. So a really insane player. So I'm not feeling bad to lose against
Yeah,
him,
right.
but
You've lost to someone
overall,
that's
yeah,
worthwhile.
I lost my chance for Mickey. I played for a chance for Mickey 4 times in total,
Mhm.
and I won twice now. So
Okay.
yeah,
That's pretty
50%, I
good.
guess.
That's
I
pretty
mean,
good.
to be able
50%
to
win rate.
fight, yeah, to be able to be to fight for Mickey is
Mm.
insane already, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
4 times, won 2 times, lost 2 times. Yeah,
Yeah.
and this is the
Oh, actually, there it is.
yeah,
That's the
you can
trophy.
see like
It's quite cool, isn't it?
it's a law, it's a law symbol
Yes.
basically, right? And yeah, it's plastic, unfortunately, but the front here is metal. The front plate is metal.
Yeah.
You can see it's like
Yeah,
glowing,
it's shiny. It's nice.
shiny, exactly, and yeah, but really
Excellent.
nice to look at.
Did you get a deck of cards at all? Did you get any decks of cards? Or I thought that
What do
was
you
in
mean?
their winnings. I thought there was a full set deck. Like it
Oh
was
yeah, the full set of 4s, basically every single card in foil and enchanted.
yeah.
Um, but I sold it because I didn't want to bring it over. Like it
Yeah,
was
right.
heavy. Yeah,
Okay.
I sold everything that I couldn't carry easily. Like I only kept my normal promos, the Mickey Mouse, and the trophy. Basically, the rest
Yeah,
I just
nice. Well,
sold.
I'm glad you kept the golden Mickey. That's definitely one to hold on to, I think.
Yeah,
So
expensive
yeah.
one, but yeah,
Sorry, what was that?
expensive one, but yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So the one thing I found really interesting in Melbourne, so there was 500 odd players in Melbourne, if I'm not mistaken, but it was the people that came just to watch. I found quite fascinating, considering that it's only been in Australia since November last year.
A bit
Sorry,
longer.
no,
It's a bit longer. It's like
sorry,
August or something.
November the year before. Sorry, or August was it the year before, 2023?
Oh, Australia got it like last year or like only like 6 months ago.
Okay,
Not
I
that
must
far.
have been talking
Yeah.
about it the year before when I was overseas, right? And so it hasn't been very long. So I thought it was a pretty good turnout for a tournament, considering it hasn't been out for that long. I know there's massive Facebook groups and things like that for Lacana, and there's Australian ones as well now. How did you find the atmosphere? What was the best part of Melbourne? And yeah, just give us a bit of insight to it.
Yeah. So this was actually the first event where I decided to say, I don't want to test at all. Like, like normally when you're a TCG player, you go to a major event, right? Especially when you have to fly in, like internationally. You will sit down, test, right? You wanna practice and give it your best shot because you're flying in like 12, 16 hours or even
Yeah.
24 in
It's a
this
bit of a
case.
sip. Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't wanna mess it up, so you test a lot and you play. But this time I was saying I played like 2 cards different before the last major. It was the North American Continental. I changed 2 cards. I know my deck worked. I know all the lines. I was like, I don't want to test. So let's do activities. Right. I played a lot of activities, and then I had a small accident at the beach where where it costed me almost dearly.
Right.
Yeah, it was really dangerous. And at that point, I was like, I won't leave my Airbnb until the tournament, which I did.
Oh, you mean when you were here in Melbourne?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you don't get to the beach much where you are, by the sounds of it.
I do, but the problem was like it was quite dangerous where I was.
Okay.
So
So you stayed in your Airbnb and didn't move
yeah,
until the
I
tournament.
didn't move. I wanted to go like to the zoo or like do snorkeling and so on, but I was like,
You
I don't
didn't do
take
it.
any risk anymore.
Is it the first time you've been to Australia?
Yes, the first
Okay,
time.
right.
So, yeah,
Okay.
your reptiles are quite strong, man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's a lot of them here, but you get used to it. It's okay.
Mhm.
It's not as bad as everyone makes out in other countries.
Yeah, but I could have went out and so on. This was like no problem, but I was just like no, I cannot take any risk anymore. It was too
That's
much.
fair. That's fair.
So I didn't see much of it. Yeah, for the event itself, I went there right at the morning. Got my badge and so on, and it was really good. There were some small problems, but the atmosphere itself was still feeling really great. Like you saw big screens where it says like Disney Locana Channel, so it looked really nice. The room was also nice, decorated. It was good. It was like just a small event, basically, right? Like it just also felt like a small event. Because when you're used to like 2K events, going to 500-person event, it just feels different, of course.
Yeah.
But it also feels like less, how should I put it, like less pressure, I would say, a bit because of
A little more relaxed.
yeah, a bit more relaxed, the atmosphere. Even though you know for a fact there were like, I don't know how many in the end actually flew in, but I was told like 100 international players were registered.
Okay. I was going to ask you that. How many international players were there? Yeah, 100. So that's still good. There's 400 Australian players. That's a good turnout.
Yeah, but
Excellent.
like I don't know how many in the end it was. Maybe it wasn't done only. It was registered, right? So it means maybe only 50 flew in.
Yeah.
So that's a interesting fact that it wasn't only NA and U people. It was also like Singaporean, Malaysian people. You know, like from the Southeast Asia. Which don't even have Locana right now. So that was interesting to see. Like they have like local groups. Basically they import cards and they just play for themselves. And then they had dedicated people flying in. They had like also some pro players from One Piece and so on and flew in. Really big shots in One Piece flew in, trying their best. One guy even ended up top 32, I think.
Okay.
Really interesting to see. And yeah, many Americans, as you guys know, like some Europeans also, like I think 5 at least European, at least 6 Europeans.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like 10 plus Americans also.
Yeah, it's big in the US, isn't it? Locana's huge.
Yeah, it's really big. Like in US, it's insane. You guys don't even know like how insane it is.
Oh, we've been over there. My brother and I've been over there, and we've been to some of the collector cons and events. And yeah, they're next level. Yeah, they're a lot bigger than here. I mean, there's only 27 million people in Australia, so you're never going to have events like that. Well, that's excellent. So, top 2 are going to the Worlds. Have the Worlds been announced yet? I don't think there's a date, is there?
No.
No? Okay.
They
so how does
announced
that work?
March.
Yeah, that's right. They did. Yeah.
But yeah, well, there are delays now because they made a post now that they are basically tidying up their lines, you know, like they're rehiring and so on. And it's really good news because now we got communication that they want to fix things because the game itself is really great. The tournament around the first year, really, really great. We just have like small errors here and there to fix. The fix are really easy, and when they do fix it, which I assume they will, the game will be like insane, like casual for casuals and for competitive. And of course, when we get the online client, like then even more Australian will probably play when everything gets fixed. And yeah, I hope they will do it. And yeah, I'm really happy to see.
So they're doing some of those. Yeah, absolutely. They're doing some of those fixes before the World event. Is that right?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
They announced it like that. I hope so.
Yeah.
That's why it's probably delayed.
So how does it work? So you get a ticket for the World, which is going to be in Florida, I believe, at Disney World or Disneyland?
Disney World. Yeah, Disney World.
So how does it work? You get a ticket and you fly yourself there and just turn up?
I don't know if they actually give us anything like for the Continentals. They didn't give us like accommodation or flights, which is understandable because we were like, over 2 continents, 200 people, so you cannot pay for 200 people. But for Worlds right now they're 28, so maybe they give us something like a voucher or something. Yeah. So overall, it's like you invite, you know you have it, but until you get like an email, it's like that.
Just waiting.
Yeah, you just wait.
I've seen your name on there. You're there. You'll be there. Don't worry.
I mean, we got a list now, an invitee list, right?
Yeah.
So,
so did you say there's 28? So there's a top 8 from EU and top 8 from US. Is that right?
Yeah, top 8 for
Okay.
new, top 8 for NA, and then all the DLC winners, which are 11 right now, so
Okay,
16
so there's
plus 11.
Okay, right.
Yeah, that's why.
And then how many of
Um,
those still to be played? Is there still any to be played? The challenges?
we don't know, like, because the number sounds really odd.
Mm.
28, right? Like, a clean number
Yeah.
would be 32. So maybe, like, since there were not DLCs, but it calls Grand Prix
Hmm.
in Japan announced, like in May and June, I think, or July.
Right.
Let's say maybe the May finalists can also get to Worlds, meaning you are not finals top 4, or they maybe do something like LCQ, like where there's a big tournament on Friday of Worlds, right? Where they give out 4 spots. I can be like, it's in the possible realm, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about the logistic, how many people they can actually invite there, but yeah, that's a
Right.
possibility.
Yeah, it'll be good though, no doubt. And once you play the Worlds, we'll have to get you back onto our podcast to have a
Yeah.
chat, and hopefully you've got a new trophy and the one of the rare, maybe a 1 of 1. That'd be good. Will they give a 1 of 1 for the world winner?
Yeah, it literally, it's the same key, but it says like 1-1 here and
1
world
of 1.
champion. Instead of the text here, it's literally unplayable, but it says world champion 2025.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, good luck with that. So tell me, what's your prediction for Lacana over the next 5 years? Do you think it's going to expand globally into all countries, and when you look at it compared to the likes of Pokemon, how do you think it's going to sit in the next 5 years? Do you think it's going to be getting up to that echelon, or do you think it's going to be a different type of game?
So from what I experience now is the game is really just from the value side, like not monetary value, like the morals and so on. It's a bit different. Like we had the scandal now, right? Which
Sure.
we don't want to really talk about, but
Yeah.
I just go briefly over it. It's like there was a shocking incident, and the community rallied together that they don't want to let this game go into the state of other TCGs where shocking is also bad, but it's like, no, it happens. Like people, and that's in Yu-Gi-Oh! The same weekend, a shocking incident happened in the Top Cut and on stream.
Right.
But people like complain about it 5 minutes and then they're like, yeah, it's part of the game. No?
Yeah.
It is. They shrug with the shoulders, like it's part of the game.
Yeah.
It's not good, but it's part of the game. And people didn't want that to happen in Lorcana. Like anytime there was a scandal which happens in every TCG, like cheating or like whatever, the community rallied together to really stop it right there. And Ravensburg also responded in the same way, and really fast. Actually,
it exploded really quickly. Like there was a lot of stuff out there really fast.
Like I was surprised they solved that stuff in 5 days. I'm like, 5 days? I expected it to be solved in like 1 month or so, or 2.
Yeah.
But 5 days is crazy. And so the community is always like ready to defend their values, and that's really different than from what I experienced from other TCGs. So I really like that. Like here, everybody's super nice. Like you have to imagine like this. I come from Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you have to be always aware of stuff and be really like you need hawk eyes to always pay attention. In this game, when I started my first major, I didn't even shuffle my opponent's deck. Like I only because they were it was so chill and they were trustworthy, most of the players, and like every time my opponent shuffles well enough, I don't even shuffle most of the time. Like at DLCs at Top Cut I always shuffle, of course, but like sometimes I just cut the deck. It's fine. An interesting fact is also the community, like when someone is like in distress or something, like they always come to you and they help you out and so on, which I also didn't really see in at least in Yu-Gi-Oh! That much. So I really like that. And for the future of the game, I told you already about the problems. If they fix all the problems and bring out the online client, the game will be huge, like humongous. Because the game is really easy to get in. It's Disney, so just imagine the game appears in the App Store And
Yeah.
people, there are many like, like Disney lovers and
Yeah.
Disney editors
Is
and
that, I was
Disney
going to
kids.
say, it's Disney. I mean, the cards are incredible. Even
Yeah.
just normal cards are
And
really nice.
the game is really easy to get. And like if you get cards to begin with and build a deck, you can just instantly play like, let's say, a casual ladder
Yeah.
and just play and then have fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then they see, oh, there's a competitive side and you can even earn money if you want. Like
Mm-hmm.
in promo cards, you can compete if you are about competing. Then they will start playing and they see, oh, really cool. And there's a hardcore ladder or whatnot in tournaments series, maybe in the app too. That will like cascade into like a higher, like a high popularity. And I think the potential is really, really high. So they need to fix the problems. They need to get the app running,
Mm-hmm.
and then the game will be like shoot up.
Excellent.
And I think they can do that all like until like this year will be the year that will basically decide the future of Lacana, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
To decide, oh, is it big or like will it stay like mid-size or will it go like insanely big? The big three big, yeah. And you can see the numbers now in like for competitive play in America, for example.
Mm-hmm.
When you buy a ticket in Europe, the first DLCs in Europe, they were sold out instantly and was like the first DLC at least you couldn't get a ticket anymore.
Yeah.
The second one was also sold out really fast, and then there were still tickets 2 hours after, but then afterwards it was also sold out. Then the events after that, you could have bought the tickets until like 1 week before the DLC, and then they were sold out. But yeah, it's still not
Wow.
that fast. In NA, you had like 10 seconds.
Feel like a
Yeah,
rock
every
concert.
time. Yeah, it's like a sneaker drop or insane concert, like it's gone. It's insanely gone.
Yeah, that's right.
You have to imagine like this. The DLCs in America were like 1,000 or 2,000 capped, like 1,024 or 2,048. And instantly gone. I mean, and I was told that the cap of the waitlist was 5K, and even the cap of the waitlist was reached at some DLCs. So you have to imagine like there were like 2K or 1K plus 5K plus more people trying to get a ticket. So let's say like 5 to 6K or 7K.
Yeah.
5 to 7K people always trying to register for that event. So you can see like the demand for major events is
that's
really
huge.
big.
Do you think?
I, fortunately enough, got the ticket to all, but yeah.
Do you think? I mean, could they make it 10,000? Could they have 10,000 players if they wanted to?
The problem is like when you reach something like 3,000 plus player events, the logistic is really difficult because you need fire hazard stuff, like regulations. You need like special venues or something like this, and you need like also more staff, and it just gets way more difficult. That's why I can see them doing like 3K events, but it just gets way more difficult, like going from like 500 to 2,000 is not that much more difficult, but like, like bigger 10K.
Yeah.
I don't think they can ever do 10K. That's too crazy.
I suppose they just do more locations as the years go on, if that's the case.
They can do like multiple events, like let's say they book like 2 halls and then do different 2 separate events or 3 separate events. That's possible, but 10K in one room, like if something happens, bro, like we will have like an incident.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, tell me a bit about where people can find you. YouTube, Facebook. Give us a bit of a run through about it, and so they can contact you and get some of your mentoring. Let us know what they are.
Yeah, of course. And so my socials are probably linked below, and I post everything on my Twitter, like X and Facebook. Most of the time X. Like if you need help or something, just DM me. I'm always happy to help, like answering questions. I get a bunch of DMs every day, especially after my win. I get bombarded, but I try my best to work through it. I post like coaching bits, like tips and tricks to improve. You can see my tournament reports always, like it's always live. I update stuff, and people tell me always that they like it, so I keep doing it. Like update after each game. If I went first, second, against what I played, what the score is, like you can see my tournament run live. And then of course my coaching on Metafy and my YouTube. Now I start a new channel afterwards because I spend most of my time afterwards. After I got my word invite, I always spent my time testing and so on, so I didn't have much time doing content. So now I have. So I started my YouTube channel where I want to not really do like decklist videos and so on. I want to concentrate on how to improve in Lorcana. Still have to figure out, of course, which topics I want to go through, but that's my goal, to just click on my YouTube channel. You will see a bunch of topics. Click on it, watch it, and then you just get more knowledge. And then if you want to delve deeper, of course, my MetaFi exists where you can do one-on-one coaching, or my masterclass where you basically get like a bunch of information. Like I always plan to have like 5 to 8 hours in one masterclass bundled for like, I don't know, $30 to $50, which is a much more time efficient and cheaper way than my coaching. And then afterwards, if you still have more questions, you can just hit me up with the coaching, book a slot, which a lot of people do. And yeah, so you can just hit me up there. And else, always I'm open for DMs. If you want to do interviews like this, for example, or just have questions about the game, I'm always here to help.
No, I appreciate it. And I appreciate you coming on. And we look forward to seeing you, how you go at the Worlds. And and we'll get you back on after the Worlds, I think, and let us know how you go. When they eventually announce it, which I'm sure will be sooner or later this year at some point. And thanks so much for coming. Congratulations on the win. And hopefully we see you in Australia again very soon.
Yeah, I hope there will be more events in Australia. I want to revisit, but this time probably no beach.
Yeah. Or take you when you go to the beach, you take an Australian with you to look after you. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
You don't go by yourself. That's the best way to do it. But thanks again, and good luck in the Worlds, Kang. Take care.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye-bye.
All right, so the guy's pretty informative, as you can see.
Dude knows what he's talking about, man. Yeah, 100%. Definitely.
First of all, thanks very much for coming on the show. And I know it was all weird times and everything like that, but so he's in Europe, as you would have realized from the interview. Really interesting that he was in a different TCG, or he's been in a couple, and then he's come through. So he was a pro in Yu-Gi-Oh, and obviously you've listened, to how he talked about how he made the transition, which I found quite interesting. Probably one of the biggest draw cards, or things that I thought were good in the interview, was how he spoke about the community of Lorcana. And whereas in other TCGs, they let things slide fairly regularly because it just happens. And it was the incident that happened in Melbourne that sort of shook up everyone a little bit in regards to the sharking incident. That was resolved. Now, that was on the 1st and 2nd of Feb. And we're on, right now it's the 10th, right? So within less than 2 weeks, they've resolved the issue, which was a big issue. And the guy who ended up, he's been disqualified now, was number 2. So he's gone. I believe, don't correct me if I'm wrong, they gave the guy who lost that game against him a golden Mickey. And another guy who was a top 4 passed down was Ben Simmons. So he's going to the Worlds now.
Awesome.
With Kang.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
But super chill guy. And he does a lot for the community too. He was saying, as you've listened, DMs people all the time. You can DM him and ask questions about Lorcana or anything like that. And he was gracious enough to do the interview. We will get him back on after the Worlds.
After the Worlds, yeah.
And as you would have heard, they haven't announced the Worlds yet, so there's some things they're fixing up within the game.
100%.
And he was happy about that, and he thinks the community's happy about that. So the Worlds will happen sooner or later. But fantastic interview, and I hope you really enjoyed that.
Look, I think this is the start of Lorcana. It's only going to get bigger in Australia.
Yeah.
With how massive the event was in Melbourne, to like our friends at Collect Fest who are having Lorcana stuff as prizes, but it's also like a big part of what they've done. Like it's I think it's really cool, and I like the fact that the community is so together on the whole situation, because that's the biggest part of it, because it only takes a couple of wankers to wreck the community. And it sounds like that Lorcana actually have people that want to be there for the right reasons. So,
I can't remember if he mentioned. I can't remember if he mentioned it after the interview or before or during the interview. But I found it hilarious. He said with Yu-Gi-Oh, all the competitions, it's all students, it's all young people.
Yeah.
And you know, it must have been after the interview when we were talking about it. And I said, because I said to him, it's incredible with Lacana. Kids love it because it's Disney. Adults love it. Parents love it. And everybody knows something about Disney because it's one of the biggest brands in the world. He laughed. He goes, what's really funny is everyone I play for Lacana, like a serious Lacana, they're all parents.
Yeah.
And he said he found that quite interesting. I think he said that to me after the interview. It wasn't in there. But yeah, so congratulations and good luck in the Worlds.
Oh, and thank you so much for coming on and talking to us, man. It was phenomenal. We really appreciate it. So,
all right, last thing for the show tonight. Wu-Tang are bringing out another album.
How long's it been?
I think it wasn't 97, was it? No, they brought the other one out with the healthcare guy.
So I asked the wrong question there, didn't I? Because you don't know that.
I don't know what.
Like how long it's been since the last record.
Yeah, when we spoke about it. It was
we did speak about it.
What year was it?
So, I think it was 2013, maybe.
Okay, yeah, and before that was a long time as well.
Yeah, I mean Wu-Tang. When Wu-Tang released an album, people listen. Like it's
man. When we posted our stuff from this when we spoke about it, in regards to the listening, which was down south somewhere.
It was down in Tasmania. Yeah, it was down at the Museum of Modern Art down in Tasmania.
We had people on there going, "Oh yeah, we went. It was awesome."
Yeah,
you know, and because it's nostalgic, right, for people at our age who have listened to it when we were teenagers, and now they're bringing out more albums.
Yeah, but I mean, they've brought back every member of Wu-Tang who is still alive.
Yes.
So it sounds like it's going to be rad. But the thing that I love about it is that for the release of the album, they're doing 5,000 pressings to be released on the record store day.
Nice.
So I don't know how they do it, but if you know of somewhere, probably, I mean, I think it's only in the States at the moment that record store day is a really big thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could be able to pick up this album on that day, and there's only a pressing of 5,000. Obviously, it's going to be released streaming, and they'll probably release it afterwards. But
that'd be pretty sweet to get a press.
Well, I mean, this is the thing. You rock up on one of those, you accidentally walk into a record store on the right day, and you get your hands on one of them. That's a Wu-Tang limited pressing.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear the album.
What? Do you listen to it? Do you display it? Or do you flip it?
Oh, you get it graded, obviously.
Oh, you and these goddamn fucking grades, man. Seriously.
I'm joking. You don't flip it, you keep it. If you're a true Wu-Tang clan.
Yeah,
then
I 100% agree with you, but I mean...
I wonder if they sell for a lot, would they? They'd sell for a fair bit?
Oh, yeah, dude. It's Wu-Tang, man.
Yeah.
Anything Wu-Tang. They have their own Nikes.
Yeah,
like, it's Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
There's... I mean, besides maybe NWA, they're probably the most iconic hip-hop artists ever.
Yeah, that's a big stretch.
As a group.
Yeah. What about NSYNC?
I was trying to think of a clever lyric from NSYNC, but I can't. I don't. Yeah. They're only cool because they were in Deadpool.
Exactly.
So yeah.
And what's the name of that kids show they're in? I can't think of it now.
No. Do you know the reason why I love Wu-Tang is because members of Wu-Tang were actually members of the Gravediggers.
Yeah.
And I love the Gravediggers, man. Yeah, man. That song still tracks like their biggest hit. Yeah. Still tracks all the time in our car when we're driving.
They only put out one album, didn't they?
Yeah, there was only one album. So yeah. And it was cool because it was on the Tales from the Crypt movie. It was on the soundtrack for that. And I'm pretty sure that's how we found it originally.
I don't reckon the album would even get released now.
No.
And even the album cover where he's got I think he's got gold teeth and he's got a knife to his eye.
Yeah, it's
killer. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
And their number one song.
So good.
Yeah. Is a pretty hardcore song. So look it up if you want to know what it is.
Yeah. Oh,
All
it's a
right, so
banger.
it'll be. We'll talk about Wu-Tang when they're. I think it's April. It's coming out.
Yeah.
It's killer, and we'll have a look at some of the collabs too if they do any more shoes. I think they did do something with shoes last year.
I think there's one actually releasing very soon.
Is it? Yeah, we'll look into it.
Another collab. So yeah.
All right. Well, hope you enjoyed that episode. There's something different with the interview for Lorcana. That's the first one we've ever had.
Yeah,
and hopefully there'll be plenty more.
People are probably going to really like it.
Well, they'll probably get record views because someone else was talking, which is far more interesting than you and I. And we appreciate that, and the feedback has been noted.
Mm-hmm.
Collectors of Everything, Experts of None, episode 64. We're gone.
Bye-bye.
Collectors of Everything, Experts of None.